You know what? I'm curious. What other spells are in this neato book? Let's see. Blowing up the sun, blowing up the moon, blowing up the sun and moon. Oh man, these sound really boring. Ooh, here's something. Another fun, another You giddy!
Ow, my lung!
Wait, did you heard that from the fall or the scream?
All three?
What was the third thing?
I don't know!
So that's the result of the Silver Keyblade summoning spell. Oddly specific, but handy, I guess.
How do so many people know that spell?
It's under the Collab Partner Ex Machina section in my spellbook.
Let me see the... Oh, there's a video hacking spell. Oh, one for Ty.
We'll save that for another day. Maybe.
Right. Anyways, you summoned me. What are we covering?
Well, my next countdown was going to be about bosses.
Yeah, okay, what else is new?
From Sonic the Hedgehog.
Pardon?
Yeah, bosses from Sonic. You in?
You bet your f***ing ass I'm in. I've been waiting for eternity to get my f***ing redemption for that piece of f***ing list. So do you want to start this, or should I start this, or is the intro gonna cut me off? No, cool, just interrupt me, you know? It's not like it's rude or some shit. Sonic has had a rocky history in his past 20 plus years.
Take a shot.
From the games you know, to the games you don't know, to the games you wish you didn't know, it's a shame the bosses are the same way.
Yeah, but at least it's rocky rather than a downhill slope. Sonic has managed to give us plenty of great bosses these past few decades. I'd even argue his worst games have bosses that are noteworthy.
Oh yeah, I remember that totally great boss from Sonic Labyrinth.
Well, okay, fair point, but...
Dude, Sonic Freeriders had a great boss at one point!
Silver,
Man! We just don't get him like King Boo from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games anymore!
It's not even a real Sonic game.
I'm on fire, baby! You can't stop me!
Is the YouTube revenue really worth this? Well, this is gonna be interesting.
Wait, does the script say...
And here we go.
Ladies, gentlemen, Technicolor Rainbow in between. Sonic 06 was quite the game. Like, not good. Not good at all. But it was an interesting ride that's equivalent to the ride in that Wonka movie. To those who don't know, Sonic 06 has been the source of many a night's dedication for me, like a scientist studying the functions of our universe. You know, if all of them decided to go to their lunch break at once, with like one of them just flat out leaving their shift early.
Would that one be the game's story?
Yep!
Look, it's basically common knowledge now. Sonic 06's story is a jumbled mess, to the point that by the time you get to the end, you really don't care. Even when Sonic gets death beamed through the back and Mephiles reunites with Iblis to become Solaris. On a side note, what's with all these names? I'm playing Sonic the Hedgehog, not Final Fantasy 15. But whatever. All you need to know is that at the end of the day, Elise kisses Sonic, gross, and this gives him, Shadow, and Silver the power of Final Boss Mode, just in time to fight the Mephiles-Iblis fusion that is Solaris. And honestly, it's actually pretty good.
It's at the very least the best boss in the game, and we mean for more so than just the music. When compared to everything else in the game, this boss actually works. Like, everything functions just fine, and no glitches have occurred on my end, at least. And at that point, you have an entertaining fight against a foe that, stupid concept otherwise, is a pretty spectacle to see. You know, like the tunnel scene in that Wonka movie.
The fight is similar to something like the fight in Adventure 2, where you switch off between Sonic, Shadow, and Silver all in their super forms. Unlike the fight in Adventure 2, however, each have their own method of attack. Silver can take the meteors thrown at him by Solaris and chuck it back at him, Shadow can charge up his Chaos Spear to do damage, and Sonic can just ram into his gut. Violent, but effective.
The fight has two phases, but each of them play out the same way with no real difference other than how Solaris looks. The fight does have some issues, though.
Admittedly, the fight is really easy, as all you're doing is dodging meteors and switching between hedgehogs when you're low on rings. Not to mention, Shadow and Sonic's portions make it too easy to hit Solaris. Still, an easy fight doesn't mean a bad one, and this fight still scores in music and looks enough to be worth fighting. Going through something like Sonic 06, however, is another story.
You know, the way that Sonic rams into Solaris kind of reminds me of...
Hey, rule of 3. Don't play that tunnel scene again.
No, don't worry, I wasn't planning to bring up that scene again.
Okay, good.
No, I was thinking of the one from Tom and Jerry.
Wait, what?
And the rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper.
Silver?
And deeper.
I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh.
And deeper.
Well, it's time to go from one infamous Sonic game to another infamous Sonic game.
No. An infamous Shadow game. Get it right. I play the Seal of Orichalcos. We screw this up, we're going to the Shadow Realm.
Point is, Shadow the Hedgehog's an interesting specimen of a game, and its bosses are... yeah, though there is one boss that stands out.
You know what they say,
Stands out for the right reasons, and that's the fight against the game's main antagonist, Black Doom.
This is a fight that's clear to see is the best fight in the game, and I feel that's mainly because this fight is a test of Shadow's abilities, rather than an exploitation of either Gun or Eggman not designing their robots correctly. In short, it feels like Black Doom is trying. There's also a variety of ways to go at Black Doom. Homing attacks, guns, they all work. Except for the punches and kicks, but when are you using punches and kicks, really?
Aside from disappearing and reappearing, Black Doom has his own variety of methods of coming at you, including fireballs, a large boomerang projectile that goes across the floor, and creating temporary clones of himself that can also attack you. It's a lot to deal with, but it never feels unfair or too frantic.
Though it doesn't help that Black Doom's model is kinda meh. Par for the course with Shadow, really, alongside the music being forgettable. What I find weird is Black Doom's vanilla form here is a better fight than his final form.
Wait, what is that final...
I give you life, and yet you defy me.
This is a Sonic list, right?
At this point, I've lost track. Let's hurry, though. I want to make sure we don't have any more gods or demons on this list.
Wait, what about...
No, it's okay! Vision's overrated anyways!
Why, greetings, foolish YouTubers.
Ah, great, it's you again.
You know this guy?
He's the genie of the big-lipped alligator moment or something like that. He appeared in a video of mine a couple years ago.
That's the genie of a giant space flea from nowhere, thank you very much. Show some respect.
Wait, why a flea?
You've never been to TV shows, have you?
And you've never been to the cool naming convention.
Silence! The point is, I'm here to once again grant you a boss wish.
Oh no, we're not doing this again. Last time we did this, you made the Babylon Guardian.
Well, maybe you should have specified you wanted a good Sonic Riders boss.
Well, Sonic Riders got a sequel. Maybe a good one in that one, please? I'd also appreciate some chicken tenders. I'm really hungry.
Can't do anything about those chicken tenders.
Why?
But I can grant your former wish.
Well, I'll be. He actually gave us a good Sonic Riders boss, taking the elements from the Babylon Guardian and actually making them work, and with a much cooler enemy target too.
Abyss's design looks much better when compared to the Babylon Guardian, whereas the latter looks like something I can whip up in a Play-Doh set in 5 minutes. Abyss actually looks really imposing and threatening. This is a robot Eggman made, by the way. Let that sink in.
Fused with the core of a black hole made by ancient alien technology, mind you. Don't ask, Zero Gravity's story is surprisingly complicated. But the point is, he needs to die and you gotta do it. And unlike the Babylon Guardian, there's actual stakes this time. Like, look, a time limit. Not to mention, his attacks actually do something to you.
While in the first phase he doesn't do any attacking, once you're in lap 2, he breaks out the laser arm cannon, and during lap 3 he'll create giant balls of meteors and drop them on your face, and both attacks will make you drop some rings, as opposed to just kinda stun you.
And this isn't even mentioning the fantastic music behind this, a piece filled with intensity and beautiful orchestration, and a real sense of satisfaction from the impact that each zero gravity blow landed on him makes.
And in classic Sonic final boss fashion, the best way to do damage to him is by ramming into his gut. You know, now that I think about it, a lot of Sonic bosses require that you just kind of beeline into them, don't they? It worked for Goku against Piccolo, I guess.
Hey, you know what they say, gotta go fast. Now before we begin this next segment, Silver and I just want to take a quick moment to make an important public service announcement.
So I want to know how Sonic Mania managed to steal back the title of Best Sonic Game for Freedom Planet. Like, holy crap, there's so many good things about it, like the music. Oh, don't even get me started on the music. I can listen to the super theme for days on end, and the level design is some of the best I've seen. Sure, there's a few deaths here and there that aren't exactly my fault, but those are few and far between, and the boss fights, a lot of them are really good. Some of them I can't stand. I think Hydro City Act 2's boss can probably die in a fire in an ironic fashion, but other than that, I can't name any that I hate, and it just... Sonic Mania is pretty good.
And this has been your public service announcement. Thank you for listening.
If Mania was one gigantic love letter to classic Sonic and everything it ever did, and Sonic CD easily got the most attention. We got 2 stages and a boss and, Oh, that boss.
After Sonic travels to the future, or rather an illusion of the future that doesn't actually exist because forces need to make the Phantom Ruby's powers far more convoluted than they need to be,
Unyielding rage!
he meets up with his robotic counterpart, Metal Sonic, for yet another battle. And this might be the best vanilla Metal Sonic fight yet.
Metal Sonic has two phases, with two sort of transitions before the first and second phases that's more akin to the fight we got in CD. Metal Sonic flies around, charges at you, and then upon reaching the arena, the first phase begins.
The first phase has Metal Sonic sitting on top of a generator that dispenses these little tiny Silver Sonics. The goal here is to knock these Silver Sonics right into Metal Sonic, which you can do by either bopping the Silver Sonics up with a well-timed jump, or, the more satisfying and obvious approach, ram them with the superior spin dash.
The second phase shares similarities to the CD fight again, only instead of Robotnik's laser, you have a giant wall of spikes chasing after you, so naturally it's a nightmare. It also shares some similarities with his fight from Generations though, as Metal Sonic will use some different attacks like shooting, doing a spin dash, charging at you, but then powering down, giving you some ample time to get a few hits in so he can collide straight with that spiked wall.
And out of every remix we've seen of Stardust Speedway's Bad Future as of now, this is by far my favorite. I don't know, I feel the large amount of energy just really works, especially with this boss fight.
Also, we cannot unhear it, and now you cannot unhear the chanting in the background voiced by Marvin the Martian. Feel my pain.
While colors definitely isn't something I look at very fondly, it does admittedly have quite a few things about it that keep it from being a quote-unquote bad Sonic game.
After the likes of Shadow, 06, and whatever the Werehog was supposed to be, this game took the daytime segments from Sonic Unleashed, tuned them up a bit, and simplified the overall tone and writing that Sonic games has had up to this point. The entire game is just a Sonic vs. Eggman story. That's it. A and B, we're done.
And to connect to that, the final boss of Colors is a showdown with Eggman. No demon, no rampaging robot, just Sonic up against his longtime foe. The first of many. Quite literally, Sonic Team, please stop rehashing this boss. But that said, even with the rehashes, we're not going to discredit the one that started it all.
Admittedly, this fight isn't exactly the most challenging. Eggman's attacks are pretty telegraphed and not exactly difficult to dodge. But I think what makes this fight works is just the sort of feeling it conveys. You're in space, chasing Eggman, and is that the orchestrated version of the main theme? I can die happy!
The design of the Egg Negawisp is something else, too. Compared to when Eggman made more goofy-looking models, or when his robots just started becoming so generic you could slap them into any sci-fi and they wouldn't feel out of place, the Egg Negawisp actually looks pretty intimidating. It's almost like Eggman's taking this seriously for once.
But see, the unique thing about this final boss is actually an omission for something that's become the norm for Sonic up to this point. There's no Super Sonic at all.
Yeah, come to think of it, we haven't seen a final boss of just plain old Sonic since 3D Blast, I think. And who really remembers that game?
Baby steps, Maverick. Baby steps. Wait till Sonic Jam.
The crap is Sonic Jam? You know, Silver, I've come to an interesting realization.
What's that, Mavaroon?
Sonic Adventure 2's bosses really aren't that good.
Well, that's not entirely true. There was the Sonic vs. Shadow?
Okay, name another notable one.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Granted, they're not the worst things on the planet, but a lot of them go from acceptable at best to flat out bad. How do you make a mech fight between Tails and Eggman in a space colony bad?
I got it!
Wait, you know how to do that?
What? No, who'd do that? That's stupid. I mean, we got a good boss fight in this game. Giant Rockman Robot!
We're talking specifically Sonic's fight against it, right?
Duh. We've seen a golem before, in a desert setting no less, but it's not necessarily something that you'd think would be repeated again. No complaints though, make the golem 3D, and bigger, cover it in sand, make Anakin weep. I mean, an argument that's not difficult to do.
Now, you actually fight the Egg Golem in both stories, but the fight against him as Eggman is, pretty boring. On the flip side, Sonic's fight against it is much more fun. Much of the Egg Golem's movements involve him slamming his fists on the platforms, which not only release a shockwave, but lower the platform he hits close to the quicksand below, which gives a good platforming element to this boss, something that the other bosses really didn't use.
Also, can we talk about how imposing this boss is? I mean, granted, it's not anything like the later Final Hazard in terms of intimidation, but good God, it's huge and Masters of the Desert! Even with its obvious weak spot, it can be a challenge to land a hit, requiring precise platforming and homing attack timing to get to it and set it off.
And fortunately, unlike the fight when you're using Eggman, falling into the quicksand isn't an insta-kill. You'll still have a chance to actually save yourself, so that's good. Overall, it's just a really fun boss, and it leaves a good mark in this game's mediocre lineup.
You know, the sad thing is, this golem is the best thing that's transitioned to 3D in the entire Sonic franchise.
Wait, what? Nah, come on. I mean, there was... Holy crap, you're right.
I know. And I'm not okay with that.
Hey, Silver. Hey, Silver.
Yeah, haha, make your jokes, it's no use, this will end it, Iblis trigger, time cop, torture Sonic for 6 months, har, hecking har.
Actually, I was gonna make a joke about how his quills look like a marijuana leaf.
Okay, wait here.
Wait, what?
I am Pothead the Porcupine. I am hoping to find the Iblis trigger so he can light my joint. After I smoke a J, I will destroy you!
Anyway, Silver in Generations, a major step up from his infamous 06 fight. That infamous fight.
So much screaming!
Certainly helps that the fight takes place in 06's best area, Crisis City, and the game does take full advantage of this setting, with Silver telekinetically using rubble and wrecked cars as his means of killing you. Fortunately, you have the power of sidestepping to avoid his attacks, alongside one of the coolest usages of the homing attack in the series. You get to Silver by using the homing attack on the objects he's currently controlling. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool.
Not to mention, Silver's attacks are just... Ugh. Bud, you gotta warn me about this. You weren't capable of half this stuff in 06. Using rubble as hammers, using the rubble to try and ram Sonic, and to end it all off, bowling. Or Katamari. I don't know. Do people still play that these days? I don't know what's hip with the youngins, so forgive me over that.
Point is, the amount of effort put into this boss is honestly both a surprise and a much-needed redemption for Silver, given his previous endeavors. Only took him 5 years to do it.
Personally, I'm just happy that we got a Nega Wisp clone that's actually good.
Wait, what do you mean?
No, look. It's a boss you chase down while it floats ahead in front of you that's beaten by using the homing attack on particular parts of the body. Only difference is that Silver actually expands on this and isn't the final boss. Maverick, why are you shaking? Maverick, calm down. Maverick, it's okay. You know, for as much as I love Omega and his destructive nature, we must remember that he came after a line of robots that were well made in their own respects, and while most of these robots weren't exactly of much importance, two stood out in particular. Gamma, the playable Rudy Tooty point-and-shooty one, and the number 3 contender for this list, Beta. In particular, his Mark II form.
Serving as the final boss of Gamma's campaign, Beta by far has the most going for him out of all the E100 units Gamma's had to fight, given he's been hugely upgraded since Gamma first fought him. Barely even resembles the other E100s at this point. In fact, it was actually Gamma witnessing the cruel dismantling of Beta that led him to rebelling in the first place. So having to fight the new version of Beta makes for an interesting turn of events and provides a surprising amount of weight to this battle. Or rather, a surprising amount for something like Sonic Adventure 1.
First things first, let's discuss what exactly our robotic adversary is capable of. Lord knows it's a lot. Aside from being able to go fast enough to cause afterimages in its wake, it can launch missiles that track you down anywhere you go. And the most powerful E-Series laser a robot can get. And listen, to once again talk to the youngins, I know it's popular to use these flame shields whenever you want to deflect an argument without really trying. That must have done a wonder for you. But Old 101 here already has one up against you. The Rainbow Shield!
Beta does leave himself open after doing a charge forward towards you, which is when you're able to attack, but your window isn't too big, so you gotta take full advantage of it. All in all, it can be a pretty challenging fight, fitting for a campaign's final boss. But this fight also happens to have an advantage over the game's other bosses with the emotional load it carries, which only is amplified after Beta's been destroyed. In his last moments, Beta shoots Gamma at point blank before exploding, releasing the Flicky Bird trapped in Beta's core. And with Gamma connecting the dots about the Flicky family and how he contains the last of the 3, he willingly succumbs to his wounds and explodes himself, freeing the third Flicky and allowing them all to reunite.
And all of that, in the grand scheme of things, is filler.
Yet somehow more emotionally investing than the non-filler parts of the story. Video games are dumb. Not gonna lie, with how simplistic and, frankly, less creative the Sonic series has been as of late, it's helped make me appreciate Sonic Team's experimental phase quite a bit more. Those were unpredictable, yet more fun and happier times.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it must have been like to be in those offices back then.
Alright team, we've got our weird team platformer beat-em-up collectathon game nearly wrapped up. We just need a final boss for this one.
Well, we've been building up Metal Sonic so far pretty well. Only makes sense that he's the final boss.
Yes, but how can we implement all 4 teams that we have all to giving fans more than just a simple Metal Sonic fight?
I got it!
Please don't do that, the discs are expensive.
We take Metal Sonic, right? And we give him a cape.
Uh-huh.
Then we scrap that and turn him into a dragon!
Complete with the main theme reprised?
No. Complete with a completely original Crush 40 song even better than Live and Learn!
You get a raise and a promotion!
Good times.
Getting to Sonic Heroes' final story is admittedly a tedious process, playing through all 14 stages and 7 bosses 4 different times, then having to get all the Chaos Emeralds from the game's garbage special stages. It's not fun. But believe me when I say this, it's absolutely worth the effort.
Right, so let's start with the beginning of the 4-phase fight in Metal Madness. You'll be taking on this behemoth as 3 teams separately. Rose, then Chaotix, then Dark. Metal Madness will cause some trouble for you, like shooting some drill thingy doodles at you, some shockwaves, a flamethrower, all robots have one, and ice missiles that can trap your allies. The major goal in this fight is to damage the middle core in Metal Madness, but the core can change color at any moment, with the color representing which team member he's currently immune to.
Because of this, you can't rely entirely on spamming attacks with a single teammate, adding a nice layer of strategy to this fight. Though while that's great and all, this fight ain't over yet, because next up is the fight between Supersonic and his force-fielded teammates, despite both of them having cannon super forms, against the Metal Overlord. And this is where the fight gets crazy.
None of your basic attacks are gonna so much as dent Metal Sonic now. Alongside ice missiles and drill thingy doodles, you now have Metal Sonic throwing Eggman's Armada ships at you, alongside occasionally freezing time with Chaos Control. Your goal is to properly respond to each attack with one of your own to build up your team gauge so you can unleash a team attack, which is the only thing that can actually damage Metal Sonic, all while also making sure that your constantly draining ring count doesn't hit 0 by collecting ring balloons.
With the variety of attacks Metal Sonic has, the team mechanic is definitely properly used, leading to a fight that admittedly can be kinda easy, but is just so much fun and without a doubt the best part of the game. Only made better by that top-notch boss theme.
God, I miss Crush 40. Where'd they go? It's been like 3,000 years. I miss them. Please write home.
Is it me? You say you're looking.
You know, Unleashed was pretty great.
I still utterly regret not including this boss on my original list from 2012. Like, what the crap was I thinking? Dark Gaia is by far the highest point the Sonic series has gotten with its final bosses, let alone the Super Sonic fights. Oh yeah, probably should have specified, we're not talking about the fight from the PS3 and 360 versions of at least. That fight sucks. Now, we're talking about the one from the PS2 and Wii versions.
You like Punch-Out? Good, have Punch-Out with 2 deities in the planet's core. Nah, seriously, the first phase starts with you just punching Dark Gaia repeatedly as Gaia Colossus, over and over and over, because, you know, punching things just feels good, you know? It feels good! After that, you're back in control of Sonic, going through some sort of level-ish area, trying to shoot yourself to Dark Gaia's eye, which, admittedly, the timing in this can be sort of stressful and tight, but it's still pretty fun regardless. All until you reach the ultimate climactic fight where Dark Gaia transforms into the monstrous and all-powerful perfect Dark Gaia, and Sonic enters his classic supersonic form. I mean modern supersonic form. I'm sorry, I know the terms are important here.
Now in the PS3 and 360 versions, this final phase was nothing more than just gliding across a barrier and destroying Perfect Dark Gaia's tendrils so you can get to a button-breaking QuickTime event. That's pretty lame. So what does the PS2 and Wii version offer? Oh, nothing much, just supersonic boosting into each of Perfect Dark Gaia's eyes. I don't know about you, but that sounds relatively less lame. Though it's not like Perfect Dark Gaia is just gonna willingly let you be a terrible eye surgeon, he'll still slash at you viciously, increasing the speed of his slashes with the more eyes he's lost before eventually using all 6 of his claws simultaneously, while also incorporating lasers for projectiles and meteors to get in your way as you boost towards an eye.
This is all done with a then obligatory orchestral remix of the main theme of the game, Endless Possibilities, which sounds so fantastic as you drive yourself into Perfect Dark Gaia's final eye to finish the fight. This is a boss that offers a more direct and fair fight than its HD counterpart, and still delivers the same impact than the original contained, if not more so. Oh, and no QuickTime event involving pushing the X button 50 times. Yeah, if you're not into that sort of thing. I know a lot of you like to, you know, keep your controllers after you play the game.
It's strange, honestly. As a whole, you could argue that the HD version of Sonic Unleashed is a better game than its SD sibling, and yet by the end, the HD version falls so hard, while its less powerful counterpart manages to deliver a final boss so utterly fantastic. Not sure what happened in the development process to warrant the 2 completely different final bosses, but it makes me really happy that I played the Wii version first, as it easily left me far more satisfied by the time the end credits rolled.
So, now that that's done, how do I get back?
Oh, easy. There, problem solved. Anyway, this has been Black Mage Maverick, and until the next video, have a nice day, everybody.
I'm inviting you to my next birthday party!